Lisa Martinez had attended 17 government surplus auctions in the past 3 years, and not once had she seen a room this empty. The fluorescent lights hummed above rows of folding chairs, 200 seats for an auction that had drawn exactly 4 bidders, herself included. Lot 47, the auctioneer droned, barely looking up from his tablet. One Helix-class Galactic cruiser, decommissioned 2247, seized from unpaid docking fees at Titan Station. Hull integrity at 63%. No warranty, no refunds, sold as is. Lisa leaned forward. A Helix-class. Those ships had been cutting-edge 2 decades ago, capable of sustained faster-than-light travel for months. Even in rough shape, the quantum drive alone should be worth 50,000 credits on the scrap market. Opening bid, 5,000 credits. Silence. The auctioneer sighed. Anyone, it's a whole spaceship, folks. One of the other bidders, an elderly man in a salvage company jacket, shook his head and stood to leave. Another woman was already asleep in her chair. That left Lisa and a bored-looking teenager playing games on his neural implant. 4,000, the auctioneer tried. Lisa raised her paddle. 4,000. Sold. The gavel came down before she'd even lowered her hand. Congratulations. Dock 17, Bay C, next lot. 20 minutes later, Lisa stood in the cavernous darkness of Bay C, her breath misting in the cold, recycled air. Emergency lights cast weak orange pools across the deck plating. And there, behind a latticework of temporary support scaffolding, sat her ship. It was beautiful and terrible at once. The Helix class had been designed with elegant curves that made it look almost organic, like some deep-sea creature adapted for the void. But time and neglect had ravaged it. Hull panels were missing, exposing skeletal support beams. Scorch marks blackened the port side, evidence of some long-ago battle or malfunction. The name on the hull was barely legible, Persephone's Lament. You actually bought that piece of junk. Lisa spun. A young man stood at the bay entrance, hands in the pockets of an oversized flight jacket. He couldn't have been more than 19, with dark curly hair and the confident smirk of someone who knew more than they should. Who are you? Laura Kesh. He walked closer, footsteps echoing. I was the kid at the auction, thought about bidding myself, but my uncle would have killed me. He sent me to buy a shuttle, not a death trap. It's not a death trap, it's a Helix class. Was a Helix class, now it's a coffin with a view. Laura tilted his head, studying the ship. Though I'll admit I'm curious why you bought it, you don't look like a scrapper. Lisa bristled. And you don't look like an expert on what scrappers look like. Fair, he grinned. So what are you, collector, dreamer, someone with more money than sense? Astrophysicist, unemployed. Lisa turned back to the ship. The quantum drive in one of these could power my research for a decade, if I can get it working. Good luck. These old drives are temperamental, and that's assuming it hasn't been stripped already. Laura had a point. Lisa accessed the auction documents on her wrist display. The Persephone's Lament had been abandoned at Titan Station for 3 years. The original owner had disappeared, jumped to FTL and never come back, according to station records. The ship had been towed in by a salvage crew who'd found it drifting near Saturn's rings. I'm going in, Lisa announced. Now, shouldn't you get a structural integrity scan first? Safety checks. Maybe an exorcist. I paid for it, it's mine, I'm going in. Laura shrugged. Your funeral, mind if I tag along? I've never seen the inside of a Helix class. Lisa considered refusing, but the truth was she'd feel better not going in alone. Fine, but touch anything and I'll throw you out the airlock. Assuming there is an airlock. The main hatch was still functional, though it groaned like a dying animal as it cycled open. Lisa's portable scanner showed breathable atmosphere inside, stale and cold, but breathable. Emergency lighting flickered on as they crossed the threshold. The interior was surprisingly intact. The corridors were narrow, designed for efficiency rather than comfort. Frost covered the walls in delicate crystalline patterns. Their footsteps crunched on frozen condensation. "It's like a tomb," Laura whispered. "It's like a time capsule," Lisa corrected. She ran her hand along a wall panel. "Everything's still here. The owner left in a hurry or didn't leave at all." They moved deeper into the ship. The crew quarters were untouched, personal effects still floating in zero-G storage nets, frozen meals in the galley fabricator. Lisa photographed everything with her neural camera. This was more than just a derelict. This was a mystery. The bridge was at the ship's bow, a semicircular chamber dominated by a wraparound view screen and a pilot's chair that looked like a throne. Laura let out a low whistle. "Now this is something." Lisa approached the main console. Most systems were dark, but a few indicators pulsed with standby power. She interfaced her wrist display with the ship's computer. "Access denied," a synthetic voice announced. "Captain's authorization required." "Can you bypass it?" Laura asked. "Maybe. Give me a minute." Lisa's fingers flew across holographic interfaces, running decryption algorithms. The ship's security was old but sophisticated. Whoever had owned the Persephone's Lament hadn't wanted anyone poking around. The lock broke with a satisfying chime. "I'm in." Lisa's eyes widened as data flooded her display. "Oh my God." What is it?" Lisa couldn't speak for a moment. She just stared at the navigation logs, reading and rereading them to make sure she wasn't hallucinating. The Persephone's Lament had been to Proxima Centauri, not near it, to the third planet, and it had landed there. "That's impossible," Laura said, reading over her shoulder. "We've had probes at Proxima for decades. There's nothing on Proxima Centauri C but methane storms and radiation." "Look at the date." Lisa's voice shook. "This trip was logged 8 months ago, after the probe stopped transmitting." They stared at each other. "Keep reading," Laura urged. Lisa opened the ship's personal logs. A video file began to play on the main view screen. A woman appeared, middle-aged, with tired eyes and gray-streaked hair pulled back in a tight bun. "My name is Dr. Yuki Tanaka," the recording began. "If you're watching this, then I didn't make it back. I need whoever finds this ship to know the truth about Proxima Centauri C." The video cut to exterior footage, the storm-racked surface of an alien world filmed from orbit. Then the view shifted, descended through the clouds. And there it was. A structure, massive, geometric, utterly impossible. It rose from the planet's surface like a crystalline mountain, but no natural process could have created those angles, those perfect symmetries. It pulsed with a soft blue light that seemed to come from within. "The probes didn't malfunction," Dr. Tanaka's voice continued. "They were shut down by this. We don't know what it is, an artifact, a machine, maybe something alive, but it's been there for, we can't even estimate. Millions of years, maybe." The video showed Dr. Tanaka and a small crew exploring the structure. The interior was vast, cathedral spaces filled with light and geometry that hurt to look at. Symbols covered every surface, mathematical concepts rendered visible. "It's a message," Dr. Tanaka said. "Or a warning, or something else. We've only scratched the surface of understanding it, but I know this, humanity isn't ready for this knowledge. Not yet, maybe not ever, so I'm going dark, hiding the evidence. This ship, these logs, they're the only proof that remains." The video ended abruptly. Lisa and Laura stood in silence, the weight of what they'd just witnessed pressing down on them. "We have to tell someone," Laura finally said. "Who?" "The government that held a surplus auction for this ship. They had it and didn't even look inside." "Then scientists, the press, someone." Lisa thought about her career, dead-ended after she'd published controversial findings about quantum entanglement that her department head had called scientifically irresponsible. She thought about all the discoveries that had been suppressed over the years because they were inconvenient, dangerous, or simply too strange. "We need to be smart about this," she said. "If we go public the wrong way, this gets buried or weaponized. But if we verify the data first, gather more evidence." "You want to go there?" Laura's eyes were wide. "To Proxima Centauri. This ship made the trip. It can do it again." "That's insane. We'd need supplies, crew, months of preparation." "Or," Lisa interrupted, "we could jump before anyone realizes what we have. File a flight plan for the Kuiper Belt, then alter course once we're out of tracking range. We'd have a head start of weeks, maybe months." Laura stared at her like she'd grown a second head. Then, slowly, he started to smile. "You know what? I told my uncle I was buying a shuttle. Technically, this is bigger than a shuttle. I think he'll understand." "You're in." "I've spent my whole life watching other people make discoveries, take risks, change the world. Yeah, I'm in." Lisa turned back to the console, her hands already working to initialize dormant systems. The quantum drive hummed to life, its distinctive harmonics vibrating through the deck plates. Outside the view screen, the dark interior of Bay C seemed suddenly full of possibility. "Run a full diagnostic," she told Laura. "I want to know every system that's functional and every one that's not. We launch in 72 hours. As Laura moved to carry out the order, Lisa pulled up the navigation logs one more time. The coordinates for Proxima Centauri C glowed on the screen like a beacon. She'd come to an auction looking for spare parts. Instead, she'd found humanity's future, or perhaps its past. Either way, nothing would ever be the same. The Persephone's lament had secrets to share, and Lisa Martinez intended to hear them all.